I am the oldest brother of Offset from the Migos. I went in when I was 18 and came home when I was 33. So all my 20s gone, all my prime years like gone. And then, especially being in the courtroom, my family right there, you know what I'm saying? My mom, my grandma, my siblings and stuff, and they boo-hooing, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like the last time I'm going to see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right here, this close, without no glass or nothing. You know? But I was dead to the wrong. They had everything, so I ain't had no choice but to take a plea, because if I would have went to trial, they would have gave me 4 life sentences. But the day that I actually walked out, like, okay, I knew my family was gonna be out there. I didn't know the cameras and all this stuff was gonna be out there. I was in a life and death situation where I got caught in the middle of a war and got stabbed 18 times. What? You know what I'm saying? I had a puncture lung and everything.
Not only are you 7 years in, you still got 8 years left.
Yeah.
So you like, my brother's popping, I could be his right-hand man, or I can whatever. I can get on and find my own lane or whatever, but I'm in here. So did those thoughts ever like cross your mind?
It's like, it's okay to take your time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a rush for nothing.
Yo, welcome back to your Reentry Network Podcast. It's your boy Yak.
It's your boy T.
And we're at it for another one today, man. We want to give a real big shout out to Jay Rich, because he's been not only helping us out on camera, but off camera, man, connecting us with so many people, connecting our youth with so many people, and the fact that he's able to bring someone really special today to speak to our youth through the cameras, man, is amazing. It's fantastic, bro. Yeah. And I love it.
Rich,
for real. Through. Shout out to Jay Rich. So, man, this person, even before even starting, bro, is a person with a big heart that has a big message. And it's a person that's exposed to so many large individuals, but he really tries to keep it real and 100 and wants to be here to be able to mentor y'all and to be able to put you guys on game to prevent you guys from going the wrong way. So I want to give a really, really, really warm welcome to our boy PlayaMade, man. Let's get it, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Hey, bro, you're
taking the time.
Hell yeah.
For real.
Yo, y'all see the swag though, man?
The Supreme jacket, though.
Bro, I'm like right off the bat crazy. When he came in.
Jacket I've seen.
For real.
Appreciate it.
You're getting to see. We talked a little about what we do and why we do it, right?
Right.
I kind of want you to talk a little bit now, like why you wanted to do this, because you were passionate about it, bro.
Yeah. So I feel like speaking to the youth would be like giving back or whatever. I see a lot of young bros that was inside with me who was like totally lost. And didn't have like no support system and stuff like that. So, but I feel like giving back, you know what I'm saying, is the #1 key to prevent, you know what I'm saying, all of us from going out like that. We're on that path.
Right. And you're coming off from 15 years. I would say still pretty fresh, right?
Yes.
Still pretty fresh. You're still developing. You're still like a learning opportunity for you. And the way you put it, and we'll get into it later, but the way you put it, I was like, well, that's wild. You know, it was a decade, like at least a decade, 15 years.
No, you say all of 20s.
All of the 20s. I didn't want to say but all of the 20s, think about it that
bro. Way. And that's the cold reality of that system, right? That takes away those valuable years that you never get back, right?
Right.
You do a dub, you do 10, you do 15, and that's literally what you're doing. There's no going back on that play button, you know?
Nah, like I said, I went in when I was 18 and came home when I was 33. So all my 20s gone, all my prime years like gone. Can't get that back.
And we're going to talk about that experience too, but I really want to kind of start going into like the development, what kind of led to that, to your 15 years. So talk to us a little bit about where you grew up and what that was like there, because you're coming from a different location. A lot of people have heard the story from the West Coast, want to hear from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, man. I'm out the city of Atlanta, North Atlanta to be exact, Gwinnett County. Me growing up, I was hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? I knew what right from wrong, but I just was just being hard-headed or whatever. I hated being told what I couldn't do. I always been the point or the person I always try to prove people wrong. Like, you say I can't do it, I bet you I can go do it. Yeah. That type. But what led me to my 15 years of incarceration, again, I didn't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like struggling, nothing like that. But I was locked up for 15 years for armed robbery. So basically I was, you know what I'm saying, going in, anything that was convenient or commercial, you know what I'm saying, at gunpoint, just like demanding ransom. And it cost me my 15 years of my life.
Wow. So you're coming from like the way you put it, right? You didn't have to do it. Where do you feel like things started leading you to that point that caused you to do that, right?
Well, so
good question.
The person who I was dealing with before my incarceration, so like her people was in a jam and needed some money or whatever. Like I said, I didn't have to do it. I was working. Yeah. But I went along with some more folks, you know what I'm saying, that ended up doing it or whatever, and it went downhill from there.
Do you say like you went with it more so because that's what we're trying to get, like this commonality with a lot of individuals, right? Because you want to kind of like the acceptance, or you didn't want to let anybody down, or what was the reason why you felt like you really had to participate in something like that?
Being stupid, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, trying to help the person who I was with at that time, you know what I'm saying, just wanted to do something that was right, but it was really wrong or whatever, and it just, like I said, it went down here from there. I didn't have to do it, but the decision.
But, and growing up to eventually like doing something like that led you to that, what was it, like I know sometimes it may be hard for you to jump in if you're not seasoned. Were you already going through some shit growing up?
I mean, I got kicked out like my 11th grade school year for like, they say gang related, you know what I'm saying, because it was like fighting and stuff like that. People who I was doing music with was beefing with another music group, you know what I'm saying. We used to see each other in like in these little parties and get into it. So, but it ended up coming to school and I got kicked out. And so, you know what I'm saying, tried to send me to the Gibb Center or the alternative school or whatever. I tried to, you know, I ran to the streets. So
that's because, you know, a lot of the times when we hear the stories, right, there's a lead up to it. It just doesn't happen from one day to the next.
Right.
So that's what kind of tripped me out. You know, I figured like there had to have been, and when you get kicked out of school, continuation is like the next step you go, which is what you meant, right? Adult school or whatever it is. You know, the girls got babies already. You know, the dude's been in jail already, and you're trying to get a high school diploma. How was that? That you think that kind of like hardened you a little bit?
Well, then after, you know, my mom put me in a position. Well, I actually put myself in a position. I'm sorry, but it's like, all right, because I had a choice. You can go to school or go to work. So I got kicked out of school. So now I got to work. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I was doing at first. I started working. I tried to go to a technical school to get my GED. But, you know, work hours and, you know what I'm saying, all they got caught up. And so now I'm leaning back towards the streets. So.
No, I get that. So I even see it. So you made an attempt.
Right.
You made an attempt. What was that? Because you were the oldest, too, the oldest sibling, from my understanding, right?
Right.
What's that like, being the oldest sibling, knowing, and then, you know, having your mother see you that way, too? You know, obviously the society sees it as, you know, you're the role model. So what was your experience like that? Did you feel like you were being the role model that you wanted to be?
Absolutely not. Because now, you know what I'm saying, I got my little brothers and stuff who look up to me, you know what I'm saying, and want me there all the time and stuff like that, but they don't know or understand at the time, you know what I'm saying, why I can't do this stuff or why I'm in trouble or why I'm not coming home now, you know what I'm saying, at the family table to eat dinner and stuff like that. So, but no, I didn't like it, you know what I'm saying, not one bit. I didn't want them to follow behind me. So, of course, I didn't feel like I was setting a good example.
Okay. And that was from the early start, you felt like, or even just more towards like when you started getting into your 18? Because at 18 is when you got incarcerated, right?
Right.
So was that like more earlier that you felt that way, or?
In a sense, yeah, because it's like before I turned 18, you know, I had just came back to Georgia from staying with my dad. Like my mom, you know, sent me to go stay with my pops for like a year because I had got into a situation, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, that I could have got locked up for. My mom, you know, sent me to my pops. So I came back, and that's when she gave me the decision to like, okay, all right, fresh new start. You're going to go to school, you're going to go to work. So I chose school. And I was doing good until that happened, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like back to square one, you know, so, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's nuts. How old was your the next brother? Younger than you?
We're 4 years apart.
Okay, that ain't that bad. And the only reason I bring it up because I know sometimes when you're close in age, that tends to be your road dog. You know, ends up kind of being the one that goes with you. You know,
I always like everywhere I went. I always wanted to take my little brother with me, but my mom be like, "No, he's too young. He can't be doing this and stuff like that." You know,
you were the other way. See, with my bro, he didn't want to take me nowhere, bro. So you were the other way.
I mean, like we was out coming up. It was always just us. We was like Batman and Robin. You know, what I'm saying? It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like one without the other. Even if I wasn't around, if my mom gave him something, he'll be like, "Well, where my brothers at?" You know what I'm saying? Or maybe he gonna always look out. And we always been like that. So and growing up, we always just kept that bond. So of course, you know what I'm saying, like I'm out here tripping and stuff like that. But I don't want him, you know what I'm saying, to follow behind me and get in that same, you know what I'm saying, predicament or follow in that same position, you know, where he got to go through all that bullshit. I ain't want that.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you had that maturity too. That takes a lot to understand, to have that. To separate that, especially from family. Where were you working at the time when you did get incarcerated?
Zaxby's. I was working at Zaxby's.
What's that?
Well, you know what? Our producer's from Atlanta, and he's mentioned it. We just never went. But we've been to Atlanta multiple times.
It's a fast food. They sell chicken. It's a fast food restaurant.
It's like it's a well-known like chicken spot, like the Roscoe's out here type deal, or like
I mean, it's a lot.
Right. In and out, I guess. Right. That's all.
Yeah, it's a lot on this. I guess on the East Coast or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty. They're everywhere. Like
since we're on the topic of food, I'm curious. Yeah. What are your thoughts about Waffle House?
Waffle House?
Yeah, we had a debate about that.
Yeah, just because we're on the topic of food, real quick.
Okay, so in the city of Atlanta, you know, we got the nightlife on lock. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to go to. But the after spot, after you leave the club, you go to Waffle House. They always open. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Glad you said that.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I went before the club. You know what I mean? Like I went before the club, so I had it. You know, when I tried it, I was like, okay, this is different from the way they explain it. But
and they didn't get the idea that it says Waffle House, not chicken and Waffle House.
Yeah, that part.
I was like, I gotta read. It says it up there. You know?
That part.
So you end up fresh 18. You end up catching a sentence that a lot of dudes. Normally, there's maybe a year thrown in there before that, you know, where you're already kind of fucking up or you're going that route. But you catch immediately a hard sentence. Yeah. What was that whole process like? Just getting picked up, handcuffed, dealing with moms. What was that whole little scenario like?
Well, I had like multiple counts of armed robbery. You know what I'm saying? Like one armed robbery back in Georgia is like a mandatory 10 years.
Just
so,
no
but mind you, I did not know, you know, any of this prior to me doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if I would have known that this can carry, I would have never even done it at all. Period. I'm like, I'm straight. Right. But yeah, one can carry a mandatory 10 years, and I had multiple. So like when I went to court and stuff like that. And out there, Gwinnett or in Georgia, you know, they big on conviction. So the first thing they're gonna do is like throw like a high plea for you, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and it gets lower from there. But it's not gonna go down as low, you know, because they don't want you to go to trial. They want you to cop out. And basically, you know what I'm saying. But I was dead to the wrong. They had everything, so I ain't had no choice but to take a plea because if I would have went to trial, they would have gave me 4 life sentences.
Really?
For those robberies. So the accumulation of them ends up being a life sentence?
For all the counts that I had.
Okay, so it was like a spree type of deal, whatever, and they, or you know what happens? I know a lot of robbers, a lot of flockers out here, you know, they call them flockers. What happens is if a certain neighborhood gets hit, even if they catch you at one of those houses, and they haven't caught anybody else, they're going to throw all the other cases on you and you just going to take it. Yeah, it's a cold game, you know. Damn. So what was kind of like the deals that were being thrown at you, knowing that you had to take one? What was those numbers?
So my first plea deal was a 30 to 15. Then it came out to 25 to 15. Then my last one was 20 to 15. They didn't never want to come out to 15. So I had a split sentence. So basically I had a 20 to 15, 15 in, 5 out on paper. So I'm on probation now. So.
Okay.
So you're going through this whole trial. You're like, fuck it, I ain't taking no 30, I ain't taking no 20, and you end up, they end up bringing that last one. What was your people's saying about that? Like, what'd your bro say? What'd your mom say?
I mean, everybody was like, we were disappointed, you know what I'm saying, because, like, the money we spent for the lawyers and stuff like that, like, this the best they can do, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But, like I say, they had everything or whatever, dead to the wrong. So, I mean, it was like, I got to take it now, you know what I'm saying, because if I go to trial, I'm gonna get burnt either way. So you know what I'm saying. The way
you're talking about it, like if I knew, I would have not done it. It seems like even right when you're going through those trials, you kind of already knew. Damn, I really fucked up.
Yeah.
What were you feeling like? Like what were you really feeling? Did you ever break down?
Of course. You know what I'm saying. And I don't care how macho somebody try to tell you. You know what I'm saying. A lot of people can't see all those years, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody just tell you got to do it, you know what I'm saying? You can't even see that far or whatever. So now it's like, and then especially being in the courtroom, my family right there, you know what I'm saying? My mom, my grandma, my siblings and stuff, and they boo-hooing, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like the last time I'm going to see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right here, this close, without no glass or nothing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was one to the chin, for real.
Yeah, I feel like it takes a lot to be able to even to know that you really can't come back from that. You can't come back from that. That you have to really, and it's crazy that you put it that way. I cannot see 15 years ahead, and I can't even see 5 years ahead of myself, bro. Yeah. Like to not be able to see that far ahead, like it's wild. It's wild, and you don't know what's happening there. So talk to us about that transition, because I'm assuming this is your first time really being incarcerated in the prison system, right?
No, good question. Is it? It was
my first time. Like any other time, I got locked up for like little miscellaneous stuff. I was just like sitting in a little holding tank,
and then that was it. Yeah,
not even at like the county jail.
Not even the county jail. Like just, you know what I'm saying, sitting in a little cell. I get bonded out. You know what I'm saying. But this was the first time going through the whole process.
So it's some real shit.
Yeah, you know,
some real shit. So what was that like? Talk to us. What were you thinking the whole time, especially?
Well, I did 2 years in the county before I even went to prison, and which is so crazy because like in Georgia they got so many cases that's so backed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just waiting to go to court. So and they had it on the news one time. It's basically they used to call it the peanut butter run, because you get dressed to go to court. You drive, do it's a long, exhausting day because they chain you up and all that stuff like that. You go to court, and then you sit in the holding cell all day, you know what I'm saying? Of course, when they feed you, they give you this peanut butter sandwich, you know what I'm saying? And then you come back. You never go upstairs to go see a judge or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? And then you come back or whatever, and they used to do that so many times, like, and people used to hate it, like, man, am I really gonna go see somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever, so.
Yeah, you have hope going into it all the time. Yeah. Right. Now you get back as a peanut butter.
Not only that, that's just damn near sounds illegal. You know, for the judicial system to be doing that. And I get it. Just LA County, we go through those overcrowding issues and you're just getting sent. But, you know, that's sad. They at least give you you know, we're going to reschedule next month. And you're like, all right, I'm going to go get these 2 burritos or a peanut butter sack with an apple, you know, and it is what it is. But that sounds, the overlap is crazy. That's the same type of setup that goes on out here, you know. And even we did another one from Milwaukee, same setup there. You know, so these systems are in place and they mimic each other. You know what I'm saying? Which is the cold part about it. You get sentenced. How does that work? Do you go sign up? Does the judge tell you that, or how does that work? And then that's it. Bangs the gavel like the movies.
Like when you get sentenced, I mean they go over like what your sentence is and stuff like that, and you know you go back to the county jail. And then, you know, so you basically wait till you get, I guess, processed, so they ship you out. You know, so then you go, well, we call it down the road, but, you know, so you go down to prison.
There's a lot of slang in this, bro. This is the first time slang I'm hearing it, to be honest.
I know, like, up top, they say upstate, but, like, down south, you know what I'm saying, they say you go down the road. But when you go down the road, it's like, all right, first you go through what they call diagnostics. So everybody go through this one prison, you know, and you take, like, these little courses. Like they test your IQ, all this stuff like that, and and depending on what your charge is, they rate you where they finna send you. You know what I'm saying? So you do like, let's say like 2 to 3 weeks here at this diagnostics camp, and then after everything finished, they ship you to like where you go. So.
Quick question on that. So I know for sure, as you're sitting in the county jail, you got homies around you, and they're talking about these prisons, about which ones are cool, which ones you don't want to go. Did you already have an idea like, I hope I don't get sent here, or I hope I get sent here?
Well, I didn't know what to expect either way. But we used to get some guys who used to come back from prison because they would go to court, and they used to always say, like, man, send me back down the road, because, you know, in the prison system, well, in the county jail, you just in this big old room, you know what I'm saying, and you got like a rec yard or whatever, that's it. But in prison, it's a lot more going on, you know what I'm saying, you got movement, you know, you got activities you can get into, your time go by faster than it does in the county, so it wasn't like I would hear in places like, oh, this place is sweet, or you should go there, or this place is messed up, you know what I'm saying, I was just preparing my mind like, okay, I've been sitting in this county for 2 years. I'm ready to go now. Right. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get my stuff, you know, get a schedule, get my time rolling, because it's dragging in the county now. So.
No TV, no nothing.
Well, we did have a TV, but I mean, it didn't have that many channels.
No. Okay, got you.
So you're in this. So you're about to start. You're doing these 15 years basically. What is some stuff that kind of hit you personally while you were in there, whether it's like a family or just in general, that kind of was like another eye opener for you, potentially?
Being away from my family will hurt a lot because I'm very family oriented. And then, like your first camp, they're gonna ship you the furthest away from your folks.
Right.
So I was like South Georgia. I was like about 4 hours away from Atlanta. So yeah, that was my biggest problem right there, just being away. But my support system has always been strong. I always had family, you know what I'm saying, to write who I was wrote and kept money on the phone. So I'm thankful for that. I'm blessed for that, you know what I'm saying? So,
And I'm sure you see guys in there that don't have that.
they don't. It's a lot of people who, let's get into this. So it's a lot of people who don't have like support system and stuff. It's a lot of young kids in there too, a lot of young bros. And I just want to say also, man, free the bros down the road, man, and the ones gotta lock it up for real, because people don't really know y'all struggle. But you have so many young guys in here who are lost, don't have no support system and stuff like that, and that leads them to venture off into other things such as like drugs and gangs, and you know what I'm saying, just it go downhill if you know what I'm saying, if you don't snatch them up or whatever. So
Right. Yeah, I feel like, especially in there, then they start looking up to some people that probably aren't the best mentors, right? And they started thinking like, these are the right people that I should be talking to. And eventually they take that same kind of energy outside. It's the same thing. They end up back in the same place, right? So what was it like too? Because you were already in the mindset that you were like, this is it. I'm never doing something like this again. How hard was it keeping away from that kind of environment? Because that's integrated into it, right? Into the system. Like,
it is. I mean, mind you, you know what I'm saying, once you're down there, like, you're surrounded by nothing but criminals who have time. So, and now, you know what I'm saying, in your head, I got all this time. Now I'm finna do it as comfortable as I can or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying, don't necessarily always be comfortable because, you know what I'm saying, you got the atmosphere. Prison is a whole different world than what it is out here in the free world, what we call it down there, you know what I'm saying? But because it's a whole different way of life. Like, it's real survival in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because you would think, okay, I'm not speaking for someone who's not gang related or something. You could say, I'm finna mind my own business and stuff or whatever. I'm not finna talk to nobody. But that don't necessarily work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can stay to yourself, go to the store, but somebody might be jealous just because, you know what I'm saying, they don't know you. They don't see you hanging with nobody, so you by yourself. But also you make store, something they don't get, or commissary, something that they don't have. So now they finna come try you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna take your shit or whatever. And I want to expect something next week from you too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let nobody mess with you, but that's just the cap, you know. So I mean it's hard, you know what I'm saying? It's what you make out of it. But I will say this, you know what I'm saying? Like, for someone who never been in that environment and stuff like that, it's gonna take one time for you to, you know what I'm saying, just to get it out your system. You know what I'm saying? Like, the show, like, all right, I ain't no punk, I ain't no bitch, you know what I'm saying, whatever like that. And after that, you good. Because everybody be like, all right, he gonna go, he's great. That's respect, you know what I'm saying?
but even then, the fact that you have to do that, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to do that to survive.
Yeah.
You really have to put yourself in that kind of situation.
I'm thinking, it's just it's prison, it's environment. And like PlayaMade said, you're there with nothing but dudes that do the same on your caliber, you know, or above it, or whatever it is. But everybody got the same mindset. I'm thinking, what was it like being fresh 18, hitting your first prison? So with 15 years, I'm thinking you had been at least 3 or 4 pens. No,
so like I said, I didn't hit prison till I was like around 20, because I did like 2 years in the county. So, but still just young, because going through diagnostics, you know, they shave your head, you know what I'm saying?
No way. Is that right?
They do.
That's like the army, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know
they do everything, because, you know, you got to go through like a, I don't know what the proper term is, but like with stuff for like people who have lice and stuff like that. So it's like a cleanse, you know what I'm saying? They shave you, everything or whatever, you know.
They throw powder on you or anything like that?
No, they don't do that.
Okay, because that's what the last guy said.
Highway Patrol, that movie.
No, but that's what's his name said, Jack Morris. He was like, they throw,
you're right. Back in the day,
they threw powder.
60s, 70s, yeah.
And I didn't even know that.
That's a different time for them.
That's a different time, no.
Damn, so you go through all that. At what point do you find out, or how long does it take you? So out here we call that, my mind just went blank, but it's basically reception. So where they categorize you, they do the test, you figure out kind of your reading level, your assessment of how violent you are, right? And then they ship you off. How long does that last in Atlanta?
Well, diagnosis, like, It used to take longer, but now they pretty quick with it. So I say like 2 to 3 weeks now. You know what I'm saying? Then you shipped off to your whatever prison you're going to. They couldn't afford to do like take as long now because you got so many inmates coming in. You know what I'm saying? So they got to speed up the process and stuff. So and it's so overcrowded. Like it's crazy. It's the prison system over there is so overcrowded.
Something I want to kind of start talking about is like you're in a place for 15 years. You're a rapper now. Is that when you really started like building your lyrics and really start putting some stuff together?
I was actually rapping before I did time. Like through school, you know, so I was rapping with like different little rap groups. We used to perform like in local teen clubs and parties and stuff like that, getting into it with other groups and stuff.
And like how old is that?
Like man, from 15, 16. But yeah, so like I've been doing music before. I used to put stuff like let me see, what was it? MySpace back then. MySpace we used to upload like, you know what I'm saying, music on MySpace and everything. It was way before Facebook, all that good stuff came out. But yeah, I used to do music before I went in. I feel like my craft, you know what I'm saying, probably gotten better during time, especially like when I was in segregation or in the hole, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no distractions. So now that's why I get all my writing done and stuff like that. I can think, you know what I'm saying? Because when you get on compound, there's so much going on, you get distracted. So, you know what I'm saying, you put it on the back burner or whatever. So
you hit the hole. When did you hit the hole?
The hole when you get in trouble. The hole is it's a slang for like segregation.
Right, like
when
the
you get in trouble,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, they send you to the hole. But yeah, that's the only time when you go to the hole, like when you get in trouble for something.
So you went to the hole when? Like, was it pretty early in your 15 years, or did you do that? Did that happen like mid?
I was going through the hole like a lot during my bid. Like,
oh my!
So that's what I'm saying. So you showed up, turned up, 20 years old, first prison.
Right.
I mean, like it was miscellaneous things, a couple fights or whatever. But majority of my time being sent in the hole was because like I had like a cell phone. I get popped with a cell phone, or like I had like personal dealings with the staff, like the CO or whatever. So
that's fucking nuts. And they caught you for that? They put that on paper? That's already been squared away?
Well, now see, that's the thing. Like everything that I got in trouble for in there, I never caught like no new charge while I was in there. Right, you know what I'm saying? Thank God.
Right.
I never caught a new charge. It was just, you know what I'm saying, they disciplined me by sending me to the hole or like or sanction me by taking something from it, like no commissary for like this amount of time, or no phone, like wall phone, or you know, visitation and stuff like that. So
what were you doing with the phone inside? Like who were you hitting up?
I mean, that's
did he have a girl? Like, did he have a girl out there?
I pretty much
did he have a kid? Like you know?
So, all right, with the phone.
He said so.
So with the phone, that's pretty much how I stayed in the loop, you know? I mean, after a while, people get tired of writing. But, you know what I'm saying, I had a phone, so I was always in the loop with my folks, my family and stuff like that. I think like my pops had made like my Facebook page for me because all my family was on Facebook, so that's how I used to keep in contact. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much how I stayed in the loop because I always had a phone, being on social media and stuff like that. But I also use my phone for good other things too. You know what I'm saying? It won't just all this parlaying and stuff. I use my phone like when I was in like some of the courses I was taking. You know what I'm saying? I would go Google some stuff, try to help me learn.
That's right. So for the right reasons, exactly. How did you use it for like for rapping? Did you ever use it for rapping at all? Like, did you record yourself or anything like that?
Yeah. So I'm dropping this documentary that's coming soon, and I spoke on that because I actually had footage of some of the things that I was doing when I was in there that I recorded where I had a phone. That was another thing I was doing. So, and it shows like images or videos where how we was recording in there. Like we put the phone in the sock to try to like, you know what I'm saying, alleviate all the extra sounds. Like it's crazy, but that's how we was doing it. And then like the dorm that I was in, like my last 2 years in prison before I came home, that was like they sent me back to my county. I was in a prison in my county. So I was the closest I was ever been like to my family my whole entire beard. So I basically ate at home. But they had this program called the Reentry program, and it was basically like people who have like 2 years or less, and it's supposed to like pretty much help you get
rehabilitated,
right? And you know what I'm saying, and come adapted back into society. So they have these computers in this dorm. They're not internet access, but they got like little programs and stuff, you know what I'm saying, like Mavis Beacon, teach you how to type and stuff like that. But we got thumb drives where we save, because like also some of these guys that's in this dorm, they have college courses. They like leave the dorm like throughout the day and go like somewhere to the gym, and they got like college people to come like teach their courses. So they got thumb drives and stuff like that when they type their papers. So of course, what I'm saying, using these thumb drives, people gonna get programs and stuff sent on them. So one of the guys, we got Fruit Loops in there. So now we taking our phones and recording, and to send it to our thumb drive, get on the computer, and we mixing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
y'all really doing some sound engineering shit up in there. You guys are doing the whole thing, huh? The whole shebang.
Well, it's so funny. Remember that show Empire?
I've never saw it, but I know what show you're talking about.
I started liking it until I started watching Power. Power made me start watching Empire. But anyway, the stuff that Lucius was doing in that show, when he was making, like he made that song while he was in prison, like everybody was tripping out because we was like, man, we do that shit now, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of funny.
It's what people don't know, right? But that's what really goes down.
Yeah,
it really goes down on that like that. So you're using your phone for the music component too. Now you went to the shoe. The shoe's a whole different ball game from what we hear. I mean, on our side, what was your experience like now that you say the word segregated, right? You were segregated. What did that feel like being in there? Because that's another prison in itself within prison, I feel like.
Bro, I'm curious to know how you even crack a CO,
We'll get to that.
We're going to get to that one then. There you go.
But the whole is like, okay, so it's 23 and 1. You're basically in this room. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing but like a bunk and a sink and toilet. You know what I'm saying? You're in this room for 23 hours. You get an hour, you know what I'm saying? Supposed to be for like if you need a shower or you go outside for rec or anything like that. But that's it. So you're in this room for like all day. And you're in this room for, let's say, depending on what your sanction is, you know what I'm saying? But like the lease is like 30 days. So, but again, it's just prison, you know what I'm saying? There's always a way around something or whatever. So some people, you know what I'm saying, they don't mind living in the hole. You ain't got to deal with nobody, but they get what they need, you know what I'm saying, while they back there and stuff like that. So
people could just ride right through it and just like,
yeah. But it's man, listen, it's crazy, like for real, because on the bad side about the hole. So let's say you got someone who got himself in the jam, and now like everybody want his head, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. The hole ain't even safe because you got guys who know how to pop the locks, like, you know what I'm saying. It's crazy.
They're doing all that out there, like that's
folks breaking out. Yeah, folks breaking out, like it's crazy.
It's common out there in Georgia, like people running away.
Now breaking out of prison, I mean, I ain't gonna say a lot have been successful but some have, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like I was at a camp where quite a few attempts were made. Only, you know what I'm saying, a few or two succeeded, but they ended up getting caught because they were some dumbasses. But really,
so you were saying the CO thing really did happen, like how.
Okay,
and it happens everywhere. I've ran into those stories. Those are like those ones as a prisoner, you sit in there. That's like a dream come true.
It is. I mean, but I'm gonna put it like this. All right, so you have this. What's so crazy? You may think that this is weird, but so the male prison system really has more women that works there than it does male.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's say you in this building. Now, this building contains 6 dorms, you know what I'm saying? There's a booth that sits in the middle, and you got 3 officers, one in the booth, 2 on the floor, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to watch these 6 dorms that's in this one building.
That's a lot of people.
Right. Now, and they rotate, and this was like when I first went to prison, they had 3 different shifts then, so 8 hours. So you have, in this building that I was in, you know what I'm saying, we got 3 officers, 3 women. So, and it's 3 different shifts, so we get 9 women a day. Bro. You know what I'm saying? For 90 days, because they used to try to rotate the officers every 90 days so they won't get too familiar with the, you know what I'm saying, the inmates. But it doesn't always necessarily work out. But anyway, so you got these women, and most of them are young or whatever, and a lot of them might not even be like, you know what I'm saying, they might have like low self-esteem or not been like too much pretty or whatever like that. But now you getting all this attention from all these guys, you know what I'm saying, telling you all type of stuff that you want to hear or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying, it's like 1,000 of these guys just telling me I'm hearing this stuff, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's crazy, man.
So I get exactly what you're saying, right? Basically, you these broads don't get that stuff type of attention at home, and they all of a sudden come onto their shift,
Right.
and they got 300-400 motherfuckers to choose from.
Right.
So,
Now you might have a couple that's tough, like they really bad on the street, but like majority of them, they don't really be talking about nothing.
What happens if like some dude read it wrong and he flashes his shit, or she walks by his cell and he's doing some funky shit? Is that like so you know how many times does the guard say hi and then the homie says, "Hey, I think she likes me, dog." You know?
Oh yeah, that happens a lot,
right?
But it's so crazy because, I mean, you may have this one particular female thing.
Look at that smile though, bro.
Who do, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen it so many times. So you know what I'm saying. So let's say she might find a guy who she likes in this dorm, but she also likes a guy in this dorm. You know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. So now they make it cause friction because it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying, he's stepping on my toes. We messing with the same female type. You know what I'm saying, and it gets blown out of proportion and everybody gets fucked up. Like, it's crazy. So it's just basically how you move. You just gotta know how to move.
You gotta know how to move.
That's a lot. That's a lot, man. So I didn't even know, but it sounds like you have women like left or right, in at least in where you're at, because that's the first time I hear like that there's so many women in the system.
Yeah, I mean,
like COs.
There's female COs in all these systems, you know, for sure. They're a good portion of the officers in there. You know what I'm saying? It's just those are like that folklore, prison folklore. You know, sometimes you hear like, homeboy really cracked her. Like you said, it could be the biggest bitch there, and she's putting that up as a front to let people know, like, don't fuck with her. But little do you know that she's fucking with somebody. You know, shit just happens. It happens. Yeah. And again, who's gonna give you more time and attention than somebody that's incarcerated? You know, he's going to write you love letters. He's going to tell you everything you want to hear, you know?
That's true. And it's so crazy because I used to see memes on like social media, and they be like, guys in prison got more girlfriends than guys on the streets and stuff like that. And it's like, it'd be funny, but it'd be true though, because like he said, you know what I'm saying, guys out on the street, they ain't got the time to be on the phone, going to sleep on the phone with you and stuff like that. But guys in here, that's what they doing, you know what I'm saying? That's their hustle. Like, all right, if she's sending me money and stuff like that, she coming to see me, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, everything in there is a hustle, but it's definitely like that for real, though.
Gotcha. You know, one thing I'm curious about, your brother, right? Your brother, have we said the name yet?
We haven't said it yet. We haven't.
You want to go ahead and...
So, everybody who doesn't know, you know what I'm saying, I am the older brother of Offset from the Migos. I'm his older brother. I'm pretty sure people have been hearing him like shout me out in his music and stuff like that. He does it almost every project. I'm gonna get at least one shout out. But yeah, I am the oldest brother of Offset from the Migos.
It's only right you older brother, dog. You know what I mean? You don't know, but you know what's I'm really curious about, during that whole time, was your brother popping already while you're doing time? Fresh in there.
They didn't start it really popping until like around 2013, 2014. That's when when Versace like blew up for them or whatever. So I was already in. I went in like in 2006, but yeah, I think I was like at my second prison by then when they started really popping and stuff.
So you had like what, 6-7 years in already?
From 2006 to about 7 or 8. About 7 or 8, yeah.
Got you. Because all I'm thinking is like, you know, you're in there. I don't know did you already know, or did you feel that your brother was gonna hit it that way?
So this is what funny. No, because like before I left, my brother didn't know how to rap a present.
That's fucking,
you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like, he was always known for like dancing and stuff like that. He was always like, Michael Jackson has always been his idol. So like he was always cool with dancing. He danced, you know what I'm saying, for Whitney Houston, one of her videos when he was little.
Throwback.
It's called What You Looking At. He danced for TLC, Girl Talk video. He danced for Usher at the All-Star game halftime when they was in Atlanta. He had his own dance choreographer, Teo Reed. She was one of like the WCW Nitro girls. Like he was fire with that dancing and shit or whatever. But like I said, I didn't know he knew how to rap, period. You know what I'm saying, before I left. So to hear about it while I was in there and stuff like that, wild. It's like, yo.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, either you had to been sick, happy, all of the above, knowing that this shit just kicked off and you know.
So what was crazy, my sister had called me around time and she was like, bro, and them on the radio, they, they make a noise and stuff like that. And I was like, what? And so, and there we couldn't, the only way we can get music, cause like this is before they started giving us like tablets that was issued out and stuff. The only way we could order CDs was like by this music catalog. It was called Music by Mail. And so they ended up having like the YRN mixtape in there. So that's when I had bought it. And that's my first time hearing them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay.
Yeah, like what'd you think? You were just like,
yeah, I was like, damn, this is my little nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
That's tight to be able to see someone coming up at the same time, bro.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in all of the above, right? Because you're also in there like you're like fuck. Not only are you 7 years in, you still got 8 years left.
Yeah.
So you like, my brother's popping. I could be his right hand man, or I can whatever. I can get on and find my own lane or whatever. But I'm in here. So did those thoughts ever like cross your mind? Was that something that came up a lot or no?
Nah, like I'm very humble. You know what I'm saying? And so like you said, I was already 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? Years in my bid. I already had stuff going for myself. I already done called a couple COs and stuff. So the stuff that I was doing, I was hustling. It was like, now my brother getting on my ass, bro, you ain't got to do that shit. I got you, you know what I'm saying? Man, stay off that shit, bro. You know, you need something, just call me. But he know how I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go get it out the mud, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But if I need you, of course, you know what I'm saying, I'll call. But
I love that because you're your own man at the end of the day.
Right.
You know? Did you notice like the other inmates starting to know that you were his brother?
Well, okay, so when my brother used to come visit me, that's where you know what I'm saying, things like would change. Like sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Cause excuse me, I go to visitation. You know what I'm saying, you got officers, you got other inmates and stuff like that. But they may put me in a room by myself, with like just us, like our family, our mom, and just us. But now that other people don't seen it, you know what I'm saying, like, it's gonna get back to the compound before I get back. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, oh, you such and such brother. You know what I'm saying? Like people who didn't know is like
didn't fuck with you before. Now
you know what I'm saying? So it is crazy. And then like with the COs and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, you such and such. You know what I'm saying? So
nuts.
It's crazy.
You really
that's huge. That's always like I don't know. As soon as they told me your story, and I was like 15, I was like, that's what we do. We want to hear that. That's how, and it just tripped me out because these are things that people think about while you're sitting on a bunk, you know, whatever, slam down. You're like, man, what if I was famous? What if my brother did this? What if that? And you happen to be one of those cases where your brother hits it off and ends up becoming, you know, like an icon in the rap game. You know. Yeah. I'm curious, you're visiting, the whole family can go in one shot?
Usually, like, the most at my time would be, like, both of my brothers and my mom. You know what I'm saying? That's unless it's, like, a holiday, like Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, then, you know what I'm saying, they'll have it set up with, like, a certain hour, because if everybody got people come in, you know what I'm saying, they won't have room, so they'll have it, like, they extend the visitation, but they have like a certain time you can only visit, you know what I'm saying, and like many chairs like you can for your family, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So and then they'll do it like for one day and then the next day or whatever. But yeah, holidays when like all the people can come. But
okay. And is it a contact or behind the
it's
that's
contact.
dope.
Yeah.
You know, unless
you can sit next to them and everything?
There's like a little table, you know what I'm saying, that you can reach across, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But unless like you're in segregation, then, you know, if you get a visitation, then you're in a booth.
Behind the glass, huh?
Yeah, but regular visitation is contact. You sit in a chair. It's like a little small table where they put like their snacks and drinks and stuff, and then they on the up, like you can touch and give each other a hug and stuff like that. So,
could they bring food in and stuff like that too?
So no, they can't bring anything to you. They have like vending machines that they can purchase like stuff from.
Damn.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm telling you that overlap, man. It's the same exact scenario here. You could touch or whatever, but they tell you one kiss when you start, one kiss at the end. That's that. Don't be touching hands like that.
Yeah, see, and it depends on, because you guys like Georgia, man. It's crazy because some counts are more strict than others. Some counts, they don't give a fuck. They just be like, all right, do you. But just don't go overboard, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, because, I mean, they got cameras in there too. But also, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got, like I say, you got a lot of young officers and stuff, and sometimes they be trying to be cool and stuff too, so they give you a little leeway, but also they got bosses too, so you know what I'm saying, they don't want their supervisor coming here like, oh, this how you let shit run. So you know what I'm saying, just don't go overboard.
That's cool. That's respectable, right? They give you a little something. You ain't crossing the line, but you get to get your money's worth and whatever. Shit. So during this whole time, your brother is popping. You still got a bunch of time left. What does anything change for you inside there? The way you move, your get down, who you talking to?
Yeah, a lot of things change because, like I say, the attention changes. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Because like my daily routine never changed pretty much. Like,
what was that looking like?
So like I'd like to keep a detail, and basically with details like your job. Rather, like, I used to work in the gym. I did laundry one time. I used to work in the kitchen because I like to have movement. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to just stay in one spot. So if I have movement, I can go to any building. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up who I need to chop it up with. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever I need to do. But and then I used to love to play sports. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that they had going on at the time, whatever season it was, like basketball, football, or volleyball, or you know, so that's how I stay active, or whatever. So
that's what that would be. Yeah,
that's a good way to. People don't know that prison is essentially, like you said, different from county jail. Is people are living in prison. You're literally it's unfortunate. Some folks are dying in prison, so it's set up more like it's straight up. You're not gonna believe it until you see it. It's its own world. It's its own community, right? People go to work. People go to the office. They work as clerks. They do whatever, right? So that's a good way to do their time, like a regular 9 to 5. You get out, then you go play ball in the yard. When you're done, then you go shower, then you go back to the dorm or the cell, and that's how you burn your days. It's unfortunate. That's really what we're doing, is just killing time.
Right.
But I mean, you got to do you gonna do the time anyways. So figure out how you want to do it. So at what point did you start kind of like gearing up to come home after so much time?
My last 2 years when I got sent to the county that I was in, the prison that I went, that was in my county. That was when I was like, okay, I'm here. Like, I've never been this close to home. Like, okay, let's buckle on down. I ain't gonna do no more bullshit because I don't want to risk, you know what I'm saying, messing up and getting shipped away again. So I'm finna just buckle on down and come on home.
What'd you do to kind of to do that? Like, what were the steps you took?
I was in this program called the Reentry program, and so I was taking courses in there, like fundamentals of public speaking. I still had a detail. I was working in the gym. I was like doing my music. I ain't gonna lie, I still had a cell phone or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I just wasn't like doing all like the wild extra stuff, you know what I'm saying? I definitely like stay low key while I did what I did. So
you're doing that. You also got your education too, right?
Yeah, I got my GED while I was in prison.
And how did you do that? Yeah, congratulations on that. 'Cause that's a big step, man. That's a big step. How long did that kind of take you to do that?
All right, so don't laugh, but I ended up had to take the test twice because the first time I took it, I fell asleep. You know what I'm saying? Because it was early.
That's really interesting.
It was early in the morning. Like I was up gambling the night before.
Oh, you know shit! Okay,
I was locked in. I was locked in. So I was gambling the night before. So boom, and I had to be like in class to take this test. So I'm taking the test, but end up falling asleep. So
no way.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to end up retaking it, but I got it right the second time or whatever. So I was more prepared.
I was definitely. He said I actually got sleep. Yeah, he's like, I got sleep the night before. I was surprised you weren't thinking like even then. Maybe I should go to sleep. I do have a test tomorrow. My GED, bro. But I was winning money.
When you gambling and then you up, it's kind of hard to walk away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. So. You're right. And then at the end of the night, you're walking away with nothing, right? That's how it goes, bro. That's what Vegas does. So you got your GED, and now you start transitioning out. What I'm curious too is you saw that your brother was coming up on music. You were already into music. How did that kind of change your mindset too, knowing that, damn, he's doing it on the outside? Like, what was your mindset like with your music?
Now now I'm thinking like, okay, it'd be a lot easier now because like my brother, he's in a position where he can teach me, you know what I'm saying, the things that I don't know, because everybody think it's easy to get into the rap game and stuff like that, and it's really not, because all they just see is like they rapping, and they see the video, they see the money, the cars, but they don't know the business, you know what I'm saying, and it's a lot. and I'm still learning, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. That's why I'm out here now.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
networking and stuff like that. So I encourage people who like, and that's not just dealing with rapping, like that's with any business, you know what I'm saying? Learn the business, you know, that you're trying to get into.
That part. So you start
That's real spit, man.
Yeah, for real. You start going into now the phase of coming out. You're coming out of prison. What does that look like now? You come out. I know what it looked like that day because it's everywhere. It's all over the social media. I know what that day looked like.
Morning. Do you out here? It's a trend that day of, or maybe even a couple days before, you give all your shit away. TV because you're leaving. So is that how that goes down? Day of?
Yeah, like when well, actually, like the day before you go home, they lock you down.
Really?
Yeah, they put you because they don't want to prevent like anything happening to you. You know what I'm saying? They lock you down or whatever. But yeah, so the day before my actual day coming home, of course, I was giving stuff who I fuck with, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But the day that I actually walked out, like, okay, I knew my family was gonna be out there. I didn't know the cameras and all this stuff was gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of, you know what I'm saying. And it's so crazy because I was speaking about this on my documentary and stuff. So after doing 15 years, and mind you, like, and coming home, I just went from like the Flintstones to the Jetsons, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And like it's happened so fast. And like my brother, like, he want me with him everywhere he goes, stuff. Like, mind you, I just getting out. I can't even leave the state my first 90 days. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to get that squared away. And then not only just that, it's like, I got to work my way into this. Like, this is too much. Like, my first 2 weeks home, I was shell. Like, actually my first 2 months, but like my first 2 weeks, like home, I didn't even eat or sleep. Like, it was so crazy. I don't know if it was like the excitement or whatever, but I couldn't get no sleep and I wasn't hungry. Like,
well, really think about the trauma that you experienced from that place. Even if it's not like something with shit going down with the inmates or whatever, your everyday life in there is a whole different existence. So now you're forced from one day to the next. You wake up, there ain't no fucking thing written out for you. Like, this is what you should do to kind of acclimate. It's just, here you go. If your family's gonna be there to figure it out with you, or if you're gonna figure it out, that's just up on the table, you know?
That part, yeah.
Did you know what's a common thing that we hear a lot when you get out after that much time? Did you even believe you were coming home after 15 years?
Yeah. I knew I was coming home.
You knew it.
I knew it. Okay. I mean, like, I put it out there. Like, I'll be honest with you. I was in a situation where I'm not even supposed to be here right now. You know what I'm saying? I was in a life and death situation where I got caught in the middle of a war and got stabbed 18 times. What? You know what I'm saying? I had a puncture lung and everything.
What? This was why you were busted?
Yeah.
This is why I was in prison. Why I was doing my bid. It was like happened like in 2014, actually.
Oh, that was that was like mid time when you were in there.
I got airlifted and everything.
So what the fuck? What happened? Like, you were just...
So it was a situation, like I said, it wasn't even intended for me, but they was coming in to get somebody who I like fuck with heavy, and they tried to down bad them in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I jumped into it, jumped in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying? And ended up catching like the worst end of it.
Fuck. And that's the harsh reality right there. That's the real truth. Like, the dirty for those that are listening. Like, that's the shit that happens. It's the shit you see and the shit you got to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally, it's middle of the night.
Oh, it was like early in the morning. It's like around breakfast time, like around 5 in the morning.
They try to pull a fast one, huh? In Georgia, is it the same? Get down over here is kind of like if your celly gets into some shit, you kind of you're right along with it.
Well, now see, at that predicament, I was in an open dorm.
How those dorms set up?
So an open dorm is like this giant room with bunks just everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Or whatever. You might have like 3 or 4 rows of bunks, but then like in the cell house, it's like a big room, but they got like so many rooms in there, you know what I'm saying, that you can close your door, you know, there's more privacy and stuff like that. But yeah, when that situation happened, it was like in an open dorm.
I can imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
So hectic, huh? Damn. And if it was 2 groups, I imagine the whole shit just erupted, and then you get fucking... How long do those things normally go on for out there before the COs really get in there with the pepper spray and all that?
Well, actually, that situation, that morning when that happened, it was like I said, it was around breakfast time. And around breakfast time, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like during like shift change, which was I was actually thankful because the dorm that I was in, you know what I'm saying, it's like when you like in the front of the prison, you bust a left, you know what I'm saying, and I'm right, and my building is right there. So I actually thank God that it was around that time because, you know what I'm saying, the staff, when they got the call, you know what I'm saying, they came, like, because I had one deep cut, like, in the back of my neck. I'm leaking, like, you know what I'm saying? And there was a guy or whatever who jumped out of his bed because a lot of guys, half of the dorm was asleep. A lot of guys don't even go to breakfast. It's too early in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
5 in the morning.
So, dude jumped out of his bed and grabbed a T-shirt and helped me put it, you know what I'm saying? So when they came in there spraying, he was like, hey, we got one back here. He leaking real bad. So, and you know what I'm saying? They carry me up out of there, but so I got...
So you got airlifted out.
Yeah, I got airlifted. I didn't even... What's so crazy, so when they was carrying me out, I mean, I had blood everywhere. But I got me to medical. I'm going in and out because I can't breathe. I don't even know my lungs punctured. But they put the little mask thing on me to try to get me to breathe. And one of the my detail officer who I used to work for, when they cut my shirt off for me, you know what I'm saying, my whole back is warm, like from the blood and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So they was pouring water, and all I heard was this lady just counting. She counting holes that's in me, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm hearing this, but I'm like, what the hell? So they had to, when the ambulance got there, they took me to the ambulance, and we rode like down the street from the prison, like to a church. And that's when I seen the helicopter come down. And when they took me out the ambulance, put me in the helicopter, when we went up, I went out. I don't even remember the ride or nothing.
You woke up in the hospital.
I woke up in the hospital.
Like a local hospital, not like...
Well, the hospital that I was in was like a couple counties over, because the next prison that was over was like coastal, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was like a couple counties from where I was.
What is going on? So you wake up, I'm sure families have been told already too.
So that's the thing. So thank God I had a CO at that time. So when the situation happened, you know what I'm saying, one of my homies got my phone and they called.
The one you shouldn't have.
The one I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But they ended up calling, you know what I'm saying, the CO who I was fucking with at the time. And she ended up calling my mom. And I'm like telling my mom like what just happened and stuff like that. So now my mom's calling down to the prison like, where's my son? What's going on with him? And they trying to figure out how you know what I'm saying. So now the camp was already on lockdown, but you know what I'm saying. Now they trying to figure out like how do you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. So it was crazy.
Did they ever put those pieces together like at all? Like at one point?
Nah, they didn't.
Okay, that's good.
But you know what I'm saying. That's what. Of course, you know after that, you know what I'm saying, they shipped me. They weren't gonna send me back to the same prison, but I got shipped from there. But,
so was your mom able to visit you while you were in the hospital too, or no?
No, you know what I'm saying. They wouldn't even let your parent, like your people know, you know what I'm saying, because they can get in trouble, like you know what I'm saying. They try to cover their stuff up. And of course, and what's so crazy? So my mom, when she got the call about this, she's calling like all the like local hospitals like down like in the surrounding areas trying to find out where I'm at. And I don't know if she hit the right hospital that I was at or not, because the first night that I was in there, after, you know what I'm saying, like I say like my second or third night, they moved me higher up, you know what I'm saying, like they moved me to a higher floor and they upped my security. Like at first I had like just one officer in the room with me, but when they moved me up, I had 2 on the inside with me and 2 on the out.
Damn.
So
why were they doing that?
Because when they get a call like that, they don't know if somebody's going to try to come get you, like, you know what I'm saying?
Finish it off.
No, not just that. No, like.
He said, like, how do people
escape,
even know?
You know what I'm saying? Or, like, somebody can, like, I can have my family, like, come snatch me and we leave. I can escape from prison. I'm still
right.
I still belong to the state.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He still has time to do this. System don't fucking care.
So that's why they don't, like, tell your folks and stuff like that, because, you know, they can be on their end as well. So.
Right. What I'm thinking, like, as like an outsider too, on this part, it's really fucked up that you could have been on your last breath, and your family couldn't have been there to see you.
No, they ain't gonna. When a situation like that, they don't like when you get stabbed. They don't call your folks, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, tell them, oh, your child been stabbed, and like that. God forbid if you don't make it, but if that situation happens, that's when your folks will get the call, like. Your son died or whatever like that. Boom, boom, boom. They ain't gonna call and be like, your son was in an accident and stuff like that. Cause that shit happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? That go on in there. Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But I say because of those that are watching, it's like that's the reality, right? You are in here, some shit like that could go down, and you know this. You hear all the talk about prison. You know shit like that goes down, and when that time comes, and hope to God it doesn't happen. But if it comes down, you can't even say bye to your family. Like the reality is you can't. You do this alone, and just the way you did it, just the way you came in.
We touched on that on one of the podcasts. Somebody lost a family member in there,
right?
And it's like, fuck, you know, that system. You're in there. You like you said, you could be far as hell away from your original, you know, where you live. Nobody knows you even exist, and that's it, you know.
It's a lot to even digest if you hear some shit like that.
You know what I'm tripping out on? How's the recovery? I never knew. Do you recover to a certain point there to your like 50, 60%, and then they put you back on a yard? Or?
Well, actually, I stayed in the hospital a week.
That's it.
Yeah, and the doctors were actually they was telling me, you know, how surprised or shocked they were because. All right, so I ended up had to get a chest tube, but I ended up had to give me two because the first time when they pulled it out, my lungs collapsed again, and so they had to pull another one. And what was so crazy, when I first got my first chest tube, that bitch hurt worse than getting stabbed. Like I swear, because like they had a nurse who was like playing with my ear, talking to me, and like everything gonna be all right. You know, I didn't even feel the scalpel when it slit me open, but when they put that tube, I was like, it took all my breath out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because they was sucking up all the blood out my lungs. Yeah. So, but the second one, you know what I'm saying, it didn't even hurt at all. I actually watched the doctor do it. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me, I had to do this little exercise to like help expand my lungs. So they was like this little clear tube that had like a little ball in it that I had to blow in it, and I had to let the ball reach like this certain line. But it's very exhausting. Like it takes like probably after 2 tries of me doing it, I'm poof. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they already had me like Tylenol 3s and morphine. You know what I'm saying? So, but every day, like after like each nap, you know, because like I was comfortable. I was watching TV and stuff like that, but I was trying to get back on my feet. Like I don't like sitting still, so I do it. You know what I'm saying? And whatever I guess it was like physical therapy to try to see if I could still walk. But I was good with walking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The majority of all the wounds, like the first one was like on my chest right here, but the rest of them was like all in my back. You know what I'm saying? Area, like excuse me, on the back of my head. So, but yeah, a week and I was out.
Fuck. You recovered fast.
Back to the compound. Population.
No, so they sent me to another prison. I came up north. I landed like in Middle Georgia, a sweeter count actually. So
okay, damn. So we tied that in because when we were saying that, did you ever see a time where you think you would have got home? I didn't even know that. I didn't even think you were gonna bless us with that one. But that's the type of shit that makes you think, will I make it these 15 years, you know? And that's crazy that you have one of those experiences.
I have experience like that. And again, like, it's just certain, I don't see people, like, this is another little quick wild story. So, that horse playing and stuff, like people slap boxing or wrestling, I never did that because I've literally seen a guy who was, he was locked up for like a probation violation. He was in there for like a year, he had to do a year. And he's like, 3-4 days from going home, and he's in there playing, you know what I'm saying, they wrestling in the dorm and stuff like that. He done picked the guy up and slammed him, broke his neck, you know what I'm saying, dude died. So you had to do a year, and now you in there for life, because you just killed somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see situations like that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You turned a whole year into a life sentence now, just by horse playing.
Horse playing. That's the first thing they tell you, don't horse play, and the first thing you end up doing. That's a horror story. Those are those horror stories that you hear in there that you just hope and pray. I hope it ain't me that goes through that.
Right. Know? So you're coming now that because I want to talk about what you got going on with your documentary, man. And then also your rap and stuff too.
Right.
You come out that day, right? You come out that day. You were talking about you weren't comfortable. You don't know about these cameras. You're going into this whole new world. So bring us back to that day when you're coming out. These cameras are hitting you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm focused like on my family, you know what I'm saying? Right. They're here, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be on this side of the gate with them, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I'm absorbing all that. It's love. I'm really, like I said, I'm really trying to ignore the cameras and stuff, but, you know, they just trying to get good angles and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But when we got in the car and we was going home, my mom was telling me, she was like, you know, that's just your brother. You'll get used to it, you know what I'm saying? So... But
right, because he put up with like what, 3 SUVs or like it was large, right?
Like 2,
pretty deep.
It was like 2. Cause when I first walked out, it was my mom and my pops. You know, so I was there. My uncle Craig, that was there. And then like when we was walking towards to the car. That's when my brother and them pulled up. They just jumped out, you know what I'm saying, with the cameras and everything else. I was like,
I'm sure that had you on your toes. Like, what the hell's going on right here, huh?
It was crazy. It was like a movie, for real.
So what'd you guys do that day? Because I know a lot happened that day, right?
Man, the first thing I did when I got out was check in with my PO.
That's what.
hey, no matter what, you still got to do it.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I went ahead and checked in with my PO and stuff like that.
You didn't grab a bite or nothing to eat before that?
So I checked in with my PO, went to, you know what I'm saying, to the house with Mom Dukes and stuff like that. And, you know, got settled there. Then my brother's like, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So we went shopping and stuff, got something to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Was there any type of like, I don't know, like reluctance of going with your brother because he's so out there and he had all that going on, and you're just you're warming up to this shit, you know?
Good question.
Yeah, like I say, I was doing a lot of like observing, because everything is like, you know what I'm saying? He keep tapping me, you straight, you over there? I'm just like, I'm taking it all in, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, everything happens so fast. So, and like people, like, you know what I'm saying, I still keep in contact with like some of the bros that's still locked up and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they see how I'm moving now and stuff, and they were like, bro, man, you're a motivation to us to see how much time you done did, you know what I'm saying, and how you moving out there now. And I was like, it's okay to take your time, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in a rush for nothing or whatever. Cause I tell my brother, I'm like, bro, I got to learn to grab some things first, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just jump head first into everything. It's too much. I don't want to get overwhelmed and stuff like that. Like, let me get there, like, slowly but sure. Let me work my way into it, you know what I'm saying? And he respected, though. He respected, so.
That's good. Cool. Because even if he were to, like, want to give you a Ferrari or something, you have a trouble enough learning how to drive a Camry because you haven't driven in 15 years, you know what I mean? Like,
but what's so crazy, like, I didn't forget to drive, like how to drive. Like, so here's a little crazy story about my license though. When I first was going to go get my L's again, they telling me my license is suspended, right? Oh shit. And so mind you, like 15 years prior, I caught like a little traffic citation. My engineer had left a beer in my back seat, you know what I'm saying? So alcohol under 21. But I never went to court because, you know what I'm saying, like a few weeks after that or whatever, I get jammed for my, you know, what I went to prison for. So that whole time, you know what I'm saying, they held on to that. So I come home and try to get my L's again. They tell me my license suspended. So I had to go through this 3-day course. It was virtual too. It was like the three longest days ever. Like, I did time better in prison than I did. Because the virtual things, like, it was crazy because I had to be in front of this computer from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to be in a lit room. I couldn't be on the bed. Couldn't be like on the couch and stuff. And then like the instructor, you know, she take pictures, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Make sure like you're present and stuff. And she fought with me and stuff. But I was like, man, nothing in this class pertains to me. Because everybody in this class got DUIs and like other stuff like that. I was like, I just got caught with a beer. I'm just here, you know what I'm saying? So I can do this.
I'm just here so I don't get fined,
bro. Like, so it was long, but I did it. Or whatever, but yeah.
I forget, you came out.
I took my driving test and like got it like that.
Just like that.
You didn't get no motion sickness or none of that? You know how sometimes you're just, again, that's just new.
Now, mind you, when I took the driving test and got my license like nothing, but I still had to do the written test. The written test had fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, the new laws and stuff like that, I wasn't aware of. Because like, when I first got my first license, set of license when I was, you know what I'm saying, like 16, or my permit or whatever. I never studied the book. It was like based on common sense. But now when I get out, I had to take that thing like 2-3 times. Because it was like the new laws and stuff. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they're tricky now, bro. They're tricky now. They're really
they're riddles, bro.
I forget. You kind of came out at a time because it was what, like a year and a half ago or almost 2 years ago.
I came home November 2021.
So you're still kind of that pandemic part too, right? Like COVID was still going on at that time, technically.
At the end of it, yeah.
You didn't get any effect of that?
So when COVID hit, when I was in there, it was crazy because I was already like quarantining myself. What was like I've never caught COVID in there.
Good job.
It hit like the prison system hard. Like you had people who were testing positives and stuff, and it was crazy because they had like, okay, we in a dorm, we're in a cell house. So everybody who was positive, like they kept them in like all the downstairs room or whatever. who was positive and the ones who wasn't, like, you know what I'm saying, upstairs. But like when they was first coming a thing, I stopped going to work and everything, like my detail. I wasn't working in the gym and stuff. I was like, I stay in the dorm all the time. And my detail officer actually came down to the dorm one time, like probably about like 2 weeks. He was like, "Dad, you gonna quit on me?" And I was like, "Nah, man." I'm like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying, protecting myself.
Right.
And I was telling him, I was like, you know, that COVID thing, we're in here.
Right.
We're not exposed to everything that's out there. But the people who work here at this prison, y'all come in and out. So,
That part,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? If anything that we catch gonna come from y'all. So I'm staying away from that as much as possible. So I was already like quarantining myself because I'm in the loop with my folks and they telling me
That's
how
what I'm
things,
saying, right.
you know what I'm saying, is going on out here and stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, but
That shit sounded like it was scary out here than inside, huh? I feel like out here it was like, nah, we can't
I'm
be.
imagining like if out here they thought it was a zombie apocalypse.
That part.
But that's what I'm saying, because like
Yeah.
you don't know what this, like you hearing about it, you know what I'm saying? Like even you watch on the news, you're like, damn, people dying from this shit, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. So and they saying it's airborne, like all these different stories, and you know, people don't know what's really going on in there. So you're like, what do I do? Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I was already quarantining myself and stuff. And then when they started like they came like with the vaccines and stuff, that was a whole thing. Like they came to the dorm and they was asking people if you want to take it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not gonna make you, but if you want to take it, so it was.
Did you take it?
I did.
Oh,
you know
shit.
what I'm saying? Oh, I was scared
power to
too.
you.
I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I was also thinking about I'm getting ready to come home. I don't want to be no type of scenario or BS to come behind with like, because I ain't take this shot or they do something, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I went ahead and took it or whatever. But.
Damn, that's a trip because for real, out here it was really like crazy. Going to a Walmart, bro. There was lines going to a Walmart. There was lines going to Targets. There was lines going to any store, grocery store. They limited 10 people in there. Like it was.
It seems like a meme, but people were really fucking fighting for toilet paper.
Toilet paper,
you know
bro,
what I
for
mean?
real.
I could imagine because I used to see pictures of stuff like gone, you know what I'm saying, like off the shelves and stuff like that. And yeah, like when it first hit, like I remember that like the toilet papers and stuff like it was like one of the first things to go at first. Like it was
First
crazy.
thing. I'm like, fuck it, shit, no toilet paper, socks gotta
Right.
go. I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
What was your brother saying about it? I mean, because he's like in this industry where
You know
it's
what?
like,
And this ties in. My question ties into that. How frequent did you chop it up with your brother, or was he? How frequent was that?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't really like call my brother as much like that because you know what I'm saying. I know he on the road, he
Right,
doing
he's
him
doing
and
his
stuff
thing,
like
yep.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time, I really like call my brother like if my mom tell me like, well, you know, he's in town or something like that. You know, and then I might call later. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, nah, because I know he be working and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I did speak to him, you know, and we made small talk and stuff like that, he was just telling me how like things have changed like dramatically because of COVID. Like how like things are ran and stuff like, you know what I'm saying, the whole setup. And I find it quite interesting because like how things were set up before until like now, like post-COVID, things would never go back, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of amazing how people like still like adapted to like even like far as like making money, like their business and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? How they created ways, you know what I'm saying, to still make their business be successful and stuff during the COVID. And you know what I'm saying, and now it's still going. Like once you find change, you never go back, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever. So I felt like that was kind of dope, you know what I'm saying? I hate that, you know, they had to go through such a experience for that to happen, but
I want to touch on that because you mentioned like a lot has changed in that game. What kind of game have you learned now? Like because you want to grow up, you want to you want to increase your music, you want to get out there, put yourself out there, be big, right? That's obviously the ultimate goal.
Or is it? You
right.
know?
That is another question. Itself
Known by
too.
everybody, fucking camera, TMZ following you everywhere.
like I say, I'm humble, but I love to do music, but I just want to, you know what I'm saying, do the music because I love it, but also, you know what I'm saying, be able to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? That's my most pain. I don't really like the big house, you know what I'm saying, the whole fleet of cars, that don't, you know what I'm saying. I just want to be comfortable with living, you know. So I got a second chance of life, you know what I'm saying, and I don't want to mess that up. So I want to do something that I enjoy doing, have fun with it, and be able to take care of my family. That's it.
Hell yeah. And then a year later, watch him pull up in a Lambo. He's like big chilling. Like, hey, you know what I said? But it's all right. Now, but what kind of game have you learned, I guess, now, like from all that? Like, what are you, like the business aspect of it? Because you said a lot of people
So how
don't
long
know.
have you been out at this point?
A little over a year now.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
a year, 4 or 5 months now.
So what was the plan post incarceration? So you had already you did your
Right.
classes in there, you did the pub teamsters, you were doing stuff to gear yourself up for it. What was did you have like an immediate plan or long term?
I didn't. When I first came home, you know what I'm saying, like, I made talk, you know what I'm saying, with my family and stuff about doing like the trucking. I wanted to get like the trucking business and stuff like that, like try to get my CDLs. But that changed quick because for one thing, I have a problem. Like I can't do long car rides and stuff like that. I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you fell asleep on a GED test, so it makes sense, right?
Or whatever. But that changed. I started working, you know what I'm saying, with my pops doing home renovation and stuff like that. Like the first, you know, like almost like half of the first year I was out and stuff.
Gosh, so you're working.
That's humble, man.
Right.
Because I'm imagining that at any moment, if you wanted to, you hit up, bro. What's up, big dog? I'm a go on the road.
Yeah,
with
but
you.
see, that was the thing. Like when I first came home, mind you, I told you I couldn't leave the state for like the first 3 months.
Okay.
And so, and then like I'm at my age now, I'm like, okay, I'm staying with my mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like I gotta get this done like right now. You know what I'm saying? As I get myself situated. I was moving a little too fast, but you know what I'm saying, but I knew I didn't want to go for like, you know, like how fast my brother's already going. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm still adjusting. Like it's so technology wise and stuff. Like everything out here was
Right.
like, oh, I'm like, okay, like it's crazy. You know
What fuck
I'm
with you
saying?
the most, I guess, from out here when you came out?
Technology wise?
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. I mean, I learned how to use the touchscreen in there, but like everything else, digital and stuff like that. The airport system. You know what I'm saying? Hell, just pumping gas. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You know what was one of the big ones for me when I first got out of prison was I thought it was still door to door job going to go search for a job. It was trippy to me when the first couple spots they would be like go online. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean go online? What am I supposed to do with that
That's
info?
true,
Give me
bro.
the application and I'm here. Like
Right.
That was a big one. You know,
Yeah.
everything literally became go online.
yeah,
You know?
facts.
Is that something that you experienced?
Yeah. What's so crazy? Like I work at UPS now. You know what I'm saying? Or
Oh,
whatever.
shit.
And so what was so crazy? Like I had jobs before. You know, so we going in there, and you used to actually sitting down with someone having an interview. You know what I'm saying? Now, only thing you got to do is like it's a link. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You just fill out a
for
link,
real.
and then, and then they tell you to show up at this day. You know what I'm saying, for orientation or whatever. So I was like, dang, okay.
So you're at UPS now. You really are like this humble guy, man. You really are doing your thing, and you just want to stay on the move.
I have a family to take care of. I have a 5-month son right now.
Wow,
Like,
congratulations,
thank
bro.
you.
Oh man,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So what? Was that one of the CEOs or?
Nah.
Like who?
Hey,
I
that
wasn't-
got left behind.
That
That's
got left
another-
behind. Okay,
that
all right,
chapter,
all right,
huh?
all right.
Nah, no CEO. I'm not dealing with no CEO.
So you came out, you found somebody.
Yeah, our story is actually interesting. It's not that actually I can't say that I found it because I've practically known her like all my life. You know
One
what
of
I'm
those,
saying?
okay.
But, yeah, I have a son he just turned 5 months. So
Nice, man. Congrats.
Yeah.
thank you.
So you are working for you're really doing it for your son and your family. And I fuck with that heavy, man. Because that's another thing too. Like there's youth out here that are parents. They don't understand, man. You really gotta do what you can for your family.
Yeah.
It's
Facts.
the biggest thing. Those are the only people that are gonna be there for you at the end of the day. How's it being
Yeah.
a father?
I love it. You know what I'm saying? Every bit of it. Like I see so much of myself in him, and it kind of scary. But because now, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be there and I was there like every step. The whole 8-9 months that she was pregnant, I was there. I was in there. I watched them get birthed and everything. Like you know, what I'm saying?
wasn't like the movies, huh?
Nah, but guess what? Like I'm into like horror and gory stuff, so it didn't even bother me. I
Oh,
ain't even
shit,
scared,
like that.
you know what I'm saying?
man.
Yeah, like everybody else, like the nurse kept asking me, like, you gonna be all right? Because, you know, a lot of guys faint. Man, I was in there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Like a scientist, huh? Like, how does this work?
How does this work? I'm dead. So you guys are doing that now. What are your goals with your rapping career right now? I guess
Yeah, where you
as
at
far
with
as
that?
now.
I'm actually releasing a single tomorrow, the 24th.
Oh shit! Y'all heard it here first.
I'm actually releasing a single tomorrow. It's called "Round Me." It's actually what's so crazy. The day that I recorded this song, I performed it that night in a strip club. It was like my first time performing in a strip club, and it was appropriate for the strip club because like it caters to the women to like to dance or whatever. But it's also like on some player type shit. But anyway,
Should PlayaMade, baby.
of course, I know. Yeah. But yeah, that releases tomorrow, and right now I'm just focused on building my catalog. I'm just like recording. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I'm not like focused on no tape right now. I'm just trying to build up my catalog right now.
So I know you got Jay Rich with you, but are you like finding your own group that you could kind of build this empire with eventually, or are you using the same empire?
Solo
yeah,
artist.
I'm a solo artist, but I'm trying to build my own brand. So I have this thing called Lie to Me, LIE, the number 2 me. It stands for loyalty is everything to me. I'm pushing my own like merch and stuff. I'm trying to get started this year. If you follow me on my page on Instagram, Made to Player, MADE, the number 2 player. You can see like footages where I have like the merch on. So I'm trying to push that this year as well.
So you got a few stuff going on, and then the documentary too. You came out. How soon did you start doing the documentary?
So I actually shot that like about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
So it's still like, you know what I'm saying, the editing phase right now. But it should be wrapping up soon. Excuse me. I'll be releasing like the trailer soon.
And that's gonna touch on what kind of stuff?
Basically like the story behind my music. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much like what I'm doing here. Like telling my prison story, stuff like that. And then like where I'm at coming out, like what I got going on, pretty much the same thing.
Where are people going to be able to see that once that kind of drops and that's all edited? Do you know yet?
Yeah. So I shot it with True Bands TV. Shout out to them. It'd probably be like on YouTube. I'm not quite sure what other network because I don't know who they're associated with just yet.
Right.
But yeah, it'll definitely be like on YouTube. And it's interesting because like I said earlier, I have footage of while I was doing time, doing certain things. So like even down to like me like having like the game system. I had like the PS4 in my room. You know what I'm saying? Like I had like the food that I was eating. I was eating like the stuff people out here were eating, like crab legs, shrimp, steak, lamb chops. You know what I'm saying? Like,
on a daily or that was something special?
Yeah, no, this was like on a daily. Cause I had a CEO, so I was like, you know what I'm saying, having her like bring me like food and shit or whatever like that. So,
and she'll be getting some money on her part too. Like
so, and then you got the videos. This is gonna be in the actual videos of this stuff.
It'll be actual footage in the documentary. So.
And it's part of your journey. Again, not very many people can say they did 15 years straight. They get out. They have a vision. You're working every day. You have a kid. You're doing your stuff. You know what I mean? You're. And then nowadays, what do you think about this whole social media and all this, and just tech being so readily available?
I mean, it's like with anything else. You kind of got to take like the good and the bad. The good is like, because whatever business that you have, you know what I'm saying, it's a way of promoting it, you know what I'm saying, to get it out there. You network and meet other people and stuff like that. But then on the downside, you got, the world is so evil. Like, they be, you know what I'm saying, quick to tear you down. So you got to be mindful of what you post. Anything can get taken the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the downside of it. But
damn, okay.
Shit. Well, I mean, I appreciate you for stopping by, telling us your story, and share, choosing us to whatever. And again, our background and kind of what we do, and the prison background goes into what we do. Because again, we take guys. We don't like to have everybody's story on here. There has to be some positive. There has to be some light at the end of the tunnel. That's the way, and I tell people the story doesn't have to be complete. Why? Because the people watching it story may not be complete, But the point is that you're getting there, you're striving for it, and I thank you for taking the time, being on camera, sharing some words with us, and literally letting us into your journey. That's really what it was. With that being said, I think it was a great podcast. If you got anything that you want to shout out last minute, Hey
man, I just want to shout out to everybody who follow me and stuff like that. interested in my story, you know what I'm saying? Y'all motivate me to want to motivate y'all. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Made2Player, MADE. Be on the lookout. And to all the young bros out there, man, whatever you want to do in life, strive for it. Don't never tell you no one. Don't never let someone tell you different. Nothing's impossible has always been my motto, and it could be yours too.
That part. You can find your music where?
On all major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Shazam.
There you go, man.
I mess with it. Y'all heard it there.
Like, comment, subscribe, yo. Come on.
Yeah, let's get it, baby. Reentry Network Podcast. Another one for the books. Let's get it, yo.